Hello Taurus, this is your astrological forecast for the month of November 2016, and hello to you Taurus moons and Taurus rising signs out there. If you haven't noticed, that's kind of my way of saying you should probably watch those too. Just a quick reminder for those of you who are new or perhaps don't know it yet, I'm actually doing astrology in my weekly horoscopes now as well. And so the way the format goes is that for the weekly horoscopes, the first half is all astrology, the second half is cards. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. And of course, if you want to go beyond a general horoscope for the entire sign population you're looking at, you want something more personal, you can always go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. So, what is going on with your November Taurus? Well, right from the get-go in the beginning, on the 9th, we have Mars moving into Aquarius, your 10th house of career, where he will stay all the way up well into December. And wherever Mars goes, we have the opportunity to profit from hard labor. It's definitely a planet that brings a lot more in the way of overtime and extra. And when it's in the career zone, we're also talking about honors and recognition coming from stepping up. This is kind of the only way to get noticed during this time, but again, there's always a lot of big payoff during this time as well. You may be tempted to burn the midnight oil, and that opportunity will be available to you on more than one occasion during this period, but also you're going to be noticing again that extra sweet overtime pay is already promised to you. So just be prepared. It looks like it's going to be quite a nice turn of events, especially on the work front, just as we get towards the end of the calendar year. On the 11th, we have Venus, the planet of love, harmony, and romance, moving into Capricorn, which is your 9th house of higher learning, higher spiritual connections, international travel, as well as government legal proceedings, and multicultural awareness, and all of that good stuff. And whenever Venus goes into the 9th house, it's talking about expanding your horizons by indulging your intrigues. And when we talk about that, we're talking about the opportunity to perhaps find love from a culture or a faith or a country that you have absolutely no familiarity with. This can be, maybe somebody literally from a foreign land, or somebody, again, just brought up in a different faith or a different spirituality or a different culture, and something that actually is meant to expand your horizons while the two of you continue to connect. And this is going to be an energy that, the chances is they're very high, especially in the, from the 11th through the 30th of the month, but even into December as well. And with Venus in the 9th house, you can also expect that perhaps even people within your academic field or within your school are actually going to be, quite eligible as well. If you are looking to do some traveling with a sweetheart, or you are looking to perhaps even consider hosting a new opportunity for you and your sweetheart to kind of engage in a new spiritual activity or a new creative activity, this is the time where everyone's going to be very much receptive to bond over this new pastime. On the 12th, we have Mercury, the planet of haste, of speed, of the quickness and communication, moving into your 8th house, Sagittarius. This is the area that governs shared income, supplemental income, self-employment income, but it also governs intimacy. Now, with Mercury, we don't tend to see much in the way of the intimacy side of things. Don't worry, it's coming. But with Mercury, we're definitely talking a little bit more about the finance area. And one of the big themes that's going on for a lot of Taurus people when it comes to finances this month is about extra. It's about extra, it's about supplements, money that you're making on the side, outside of your hourly and salary income. If you already work for yourself, this is a gorgeous aspect, because from the 12th onward, you're going to be noticing that not only is money coming faster and easier, but in easily, I guess you could say, completed chunks and projects. Mercury tends to focus more on quantity, more so than the balance when it comes to sales. So a lot of little sales will add up over time during this energy. You're also going to be noticing assets that you may have invested in start to mature quite quickly during this time. And so once we get into December, it may be time to kind of consider maybe cashing in on some profits there, or maybe even reinvesting if that's what you choose to do. On the 14th, we've got a full moon in your sign. And whenever we have a full moon in our sign, it's considered sort of like the wild card blessing of itself. And full moons tend to bring culminations, endings, and completions. And from the 14th to the 28th, a lot of you Taurus people are going to want to consider, where should I be putting my energy towards completing or ending something that I don't want to carry with me into this next, 6 months? What do I not want to be doing? What do I want to end for good in my life? And this might be a time where some of you are convinced, you know what, nope, I'm ready to retire, or I'm ready to quit this job, or I'm ready to move house, or I'm ready to leave this for this, or, quit a bad habit. It's okay to unburden yourself. It might actually be a time to pay attention to where some activities or some preoccupations, or maybe even some connections in your life, their expiration dates are up. And it's always good to take that kind of inventory when you have a full moon in your sign, because this should be voluntary. On the 19th, we've got Neptune turning direct in your 11th house of friendships and social networking, Pisces. And with Neptune, it's kind of an interesting kind of twist for you, Taurus, because Neptune is neutral no matter what it's doing. Retrograde or direct. It's not like Mercury or Venus retrograde, where it's a little bit more cut and dry, black and white, even though not very much is black and white in the world. But with Neptune, it's definitely both at the same time, no matter what you do. And since June, I think that with Neptune being retrograde, a lot of you Taurus people have really got to enjoy the benefits of being brutally honest with people. But at the same time, I think that with the X-ray goggles being on, you might have actually been able to sort of see where you were also very transparent, where a lot of people were kind of gaining information about you, maybe information that they needed to know, but without you actually giving it to them. And because what happens is there's a huge focus of transparency when you have Neptune retrograde in your 11th house. We are supposed to see our friends and our social contacts for 100% of who they are, and they you, in completion. And whether or not you're comfortable with that level of transparency of those boundaries, that's pretty much what was happening without your consent. Now, with Neptune going direct, however, after the 19th of the month, we do have an opportunity to pull up the veils if we want to actually kind of have that distance, have that buffer. It's up to you. If it's actually brought you closer to your nearest and dearest, maybe it's good to keep them down. If it's not really worth it to you, this is your chance to bring it up. It's up to you to decide what is actually in your best interest and the best interest of all concerned over the next 6 months. On the 21st, we do have the Sun moving into Sagittarius, into that 8th house of intimacy and shared resources, and the Sun is definitely talking a lot more about the intimacy side of things. Like I said, it was coming. And with the Sun going in here, we're talking about a bit of, I guess you could say, emotional connectivity, and, well, not just emotional connectivity, but actually bonding and getting more out of our intimate life, out of our private life, with our partners, or perhaps even with somebody new. This could be extricating parts of your, your sexual being or your sensual being, however you choose to phrase it, that may have been kept latent, or maybe things that you wish you could express that you didn't feel like you could express. Maybe these are things that you feel would be great to connect to you and your partner. Maybe you feel like you and your partner have not been pushing the boundaries that you need to push when it comes to your intimate life in order to gain that closeness. The nice thing is we've got about a month, between the 21st of November and the 20th of December to finally, break the habit of perhaps withholding those desires and those fantasies from each other. And if you are single and you're kind of feeling like, well, I feel left out, well, do not worry, because a week later we've got a new moon in this very same area, allowing the folks who are looking for somebody to explore that with to begin manifesting and attracting those folks with the quickness. So that is your forecast, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.